Hello. How are you doing today? Wonderful. Well, my name is Cassie. How can I help you? Oh, you're the call ahead. Okay, wonderful. I went ahead and pulled all the movies. All the ones that you were wondering about or were debating purchasing. Yeah, I actually have them right next to the counter here. So, if you don't mind, we can go ahead and go through each holiday movie and decide which ones you want to go ahead and get, which ones are right for you. Does that sound good? Okay, wonderful. Well, I suppose I'll just go ahead and pick them at random. Is that okay with you? Okay. Perfect. Well, this here is great. I feel like for all ages. These are some of the original Christmas classics. So there will definitely be some familiar characters in this. It is one of those box sets. So it says 7 holiday favorites all in one set. So we have Rudolph, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Little Drummer Boy, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, Cricket on the Hearth, and Frosty Returns. So it's going to have all 7 of those movies in this boxed set. Some people would say that these movies would be better fitted for children, but I have to personally say that I still enjoy these classic movies just as much. Especially Rudolph, Frosty, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Exactly. So, that's just something to keep in mind. It's a nice little boxed set. As you can see, it kind of opens up and shares those different movies. Yeah. Go ahead and put that one to the side. Just as one of your options as we continue to go through all these movies. Next up, we have this comedy Christmas movie. It's called Deck the Halls, and it's starring Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick. Have you seen this? It's very funny, very cute. So, essentially, this movie is about dueling neighbors, Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick, as they celebrate the holiday season. And they both kind of want to be the lone Christmas guy in their town. So it's just funny situations that occur as they meet each other, as they get to know each other, and as the Christmas season goes on. So, definitely a movie to laugh with. Okay. Then we have one of my all-time favorites, which is Christmas with the Cranks, starring Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes, it's one of my favorites. It's actually based on the book Skipping Christmas. Yeah. So this is another one that's gonna have you laughing. I like Christmas movies that make you laugh, brighten your day. I think it can definitely help with that holiday spirit. So essentially this, Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis decide to skip Christmas when their daughter goes off to the Peace Corps. They want to save some money and go on a cruise and skip the whole Christmas shebang. And of course comes problems with fully skipping Christmas, as you can probably assume. But it's very funny. Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen are really hilarious in this if you're a fan of their work. Dan Aykroyd is in this also. It's very cute, very funny. This is usually the first Christmas movie I watch every year, and I usually watch it several times a year. Yeah. Alright, so next we have another great Christmas movie, and that's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So clearly this is based off of Dr. Seuss's book. And it's starring Jim Carrey as the Grinch. Do you know the basic story of the Grinch? Well, essentially, the story takes place in Whoville, which is a town that is very much into the holiday season. And the Grinch is, you would say, a bit of an outcast to Whoville, and doesn't participate in much of the holiday traditions. That is until a little girl named Cindy invites him back to the town, and then craziness happens and cuteness happens. It's very cute. Kids do like this movie, but I guess I might be a kid at heart because I really enjoy this movie as well. Yeah, not just for kids. There's definitely some great humor in it as well that as an adult you'd probably catch a little bit better than the children would. So that's another wonderful Christmas movie that you could potentially add to your collection. Alright, next up this is Four Christmases with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. This is another very funny movie that I think a lot of people skip out on, actually. I watch it every year, but some people don't think it's as funny as some of these other ones, but I find it absolutely hilarious. So, essentially, for this, Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon's characters usually skip out on the whole family Christmas, going to multiple houses and things of that nature. But this year, they are unable to successfully go on their vacation and are forced to go to 4 different Christmases. His mom's house, his dad's house, her mom's house, her dad's house. And the different families are crazy, but it's really, really funny. Another option that I went ahead and pulled for you. Alright, this next one is fantastic. It plays all the time on TV, but I have to own it because it's just so amazing. Let me just take this cover off. So this is Elf with Will Ferrell. Have you seen this? Oh, it's so funny. So funny. Will Ferrell's character is named Buddy. And he's a human that was raised at the North Pole believing he was an elf. And this is the story about him going to New York City and finding his biological dad. It's a very cute movie. It's actually my favorite Will Ferrell movie. And it's another one that I have to watch every year. Exactly. So, go ahead and add that to your options for us. Alright, our next movie was more popular in the 90s, but perhaps you would have heard of it. It's very cute. It's called I'll Be Home for Christmas. And the main character is Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah, he was one of the sons on Home Improvement, if you're familiar with that Tim Allen show. So, this is the story of this character trying to get home for Christmas. He's going to school in California, and his family lives in New York. Crazy twists and turns happen to where he isn't able to directly get from California to New York. And he's desperately trying to get home because of a bet that he made with his dad. Yes, it's very funny. I like the comedy movies for the holiday season, as you might be able to tell. Yes, I just recently watched this one to get in the holiday spirit. Alright, then we have another pack, you could say. This is the Home Alone 3 feature films. Now I will tell you, it clearly features Home Alone, the first one, and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, as well as Home Alone 3. I've never seen Home Alone 3 because they changed the actor, and they tried to make another unnecessary sequel. So I would just recommend the first two. I am actually one of the rare people that thinks that the second one is better than the first one. I really like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Yeah, I do. But both of them are very good. It's basically the story of Kevin McAllister, and unfortunately his family forgets about him and leaves him home alone during the holiday season. Kevin's family was extremely rude. Always did. So this is just the little 3-pack here. Yeah, as I said, I can't tell you much about Home Alone 3 because I've never seen it. I just prefer the first two, of course. Then we have another classic movie that I always have to watch every year. Classic for me is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. It's the story of Scott Calvin and how he accidentally turns into Santa Claus and his process in becoming Santa Claus. Now we do have the sequels as well, if you're interested. We have Santa Claus 2 and Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, if you're interested. Yes, I do have all 3 here. The first one is, of course, the best, and the second one I do enjoy as well. The third one is, it's okay, I can watch it, but I prefer the first 2. Yeah. It's a very cute series. Yes, it would seem that Tim Allen does quite a few Christmas movies. He probably gets a very nice check each holiday those are the Santa Claus movies, if you're interested in those. Next up, we have a darker movie, you could say, but still has the comedy aspect in it, starring Bill Murray. And that is Scrooged. So, there are about 1 billion different A Christmas Carol movies out there, so many. This one is a very good one if you're a fan of Bill Murray and his comedy. It's just basically his story through the Christmas Carol, of course, with Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future as he goes through his life. As I said, there are so many different versions to A Christmas Carol, but it's nice to watch the different ones and to see a new take on it. I like the modern takes on this. This one is one of my favorite Christmas carols, so is A Diva's Christmas Carol, if you've ever seen that one. That one's really good too. So, it's another choice for you. I tried to give you as many choices as possible, and then we can always narrow them down, just depending on what you're looking for, what you want, how much you're willing to spend. Next up, we have one that's really great for kids. And, this is Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Yeah. So it's going to have the standard Mickey characters in 3 separate stories, I believe. So we have the Mickey and Minnie story, the Goofy story, and the Donald Duck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie story. So they're very cute little cartoons for kids. As I said, I still watch them sometimes too, because these cute little cartoons are just ageless, I think. So if you perhaps are into the Disney or into the Mickey Mouse characters, that would definitely be a good one for you. Yes, they're very sweet stories that kind of have those Christmas themes, holiday themes of giving and whatnot. Okay, next up we have yet another comedy, and that is Fred Claus, starring Vince Vaughn. This is the story of Santa Claus's brother. It's very funny. Vince Vaughn is one of my favorite comedians. I'm a very big fan of his comedy. This is a very cute movie. It's just, as I said, the story of Fred Claus and him being Santa Claus's brother and dealing with being the brother of someone so famous. Kathy Bates also stars in this as their mother. Very funny movie. Now, the last 2, I know I have the DVD or Blu-ray around here somewhere, but I couldn't find them. So the first one is A Christmas Vacation, which is an every year watch for me as well. Yeah. So if you want, we can always order that one for you. And then this last one, I actually was able to find the VHS, if you remember what that is. But we can always go ahead and order the DVD or Blu-ray for you as well, if you prefer. This last one is Jingle All The Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now this movie has such a bad rap, but I just find it hilarious. It's essentially about Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and having to find his son, a Turbo Man doll, and all the stores are sold out. He waits last minute. It's kind of a parody on the Cabbage Patch doll craze that happened in the 80s. Yeah. I find it very hilarious. As I said, so many people give it a bad rap, but I find it very funny. And I watch it every year. So, those were our Christmas movie options that we pulled from you. As you can see, they're more upbeat, nothing that's really gonna make you cry. But I think that you had said you wanted more funny or upbeat themes instead of sometimes Christmas movies can be very sad. Okay, so we did have Jingle All The Way, and let's just look over. Fred Claus and the Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Scrooged, and the Santa Claus series. So we have Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. Right. And the Home Alone, which does include the 3 as well. And we have I'll Be Home for Christmas. We also have Elf. We have 4 Christmases. The Grinch. Christmas with the Cranks. Deck the Halls. And then our classic Christmas combo pack with those 7 movies. Yes. I did give you quite a bit of options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15 sets, but of course some of them come with multiple movies, and then of course we have the alternate ones that we can always order in for you, so there's quite a lot of options for you. Okay. Did any of them jump out at you, stand out at you? Oh, of course. No, take your time. I just showed you so many. Alright, well, glad I could help you, or at least introduce you to these different Christmas movies. We do have another catalog if you wanted to look further, or if you wanted to see any of the other more emotional Christmas movies or classics. You know, It's a Wonderful Life or things like that. Okay, well, I will just be right over here, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just feel free to ask. Alright, well, it was lovely to meet you today.